A millionaire took a homeless woman to his ex-fiancée's wedding, which changed his life dramatically. Before we begin, please tell us in the comments where you're watching from. Don't forget to rate the story from 1 to 10 at the end. In the cold world of Wall Street, Felix Morris, a millionaire, hires a fake girlfriend for his ex-fiancée's wedding. But the woman he chooses, Gloria, has a hidden past and a plan for revenge. This story of love, betrayal, injustice, and big money follows the intertwining lives of two wounded hearts and leads to shocking events. A passionate tale of love and revenge awaits, with dark secrets revealed, powerful families falling, and true love triumphing. Without keeping you waiting any longer, dear viewers, let's begin our story. In the early morning hours, Felix Morris stood at the panoramic window of his office on the 32nd floor of a glass skyscraper in the heart of Manhattan, looking out at the city. The steam rising from his coffee cup wasn't enough to soften his cold expression. This man, approaching 40, was one of the youngest millionaires in his industry. However, his eyes held an expression as cold as money itself. Success had become a habit for him, not a passion. The documents on his desk were proof of his successful investments in the last 6 months. Deals that brought in millions of dollars each, strategic moves that left competitors behind, calculated steps that brought enemies to their knees. Felix Morris's name had become a brand that inspired respect and fear in the business world. However, the price of this success was high. He had no friends, his family was distant, and his heart had long since frozen. The people around him were just business contacts, shadows without real emotional connections. The diplomas and awards on his office walls constantly reminded him of his success. Felix was a Harvard Business School graduate who founded his own company at 35 and made the Forbes list before turning 40. Yet, these achievements weren't enough to fill the emptiness inside him. Every morning, he woke up to the same routine, the same cold breakfast, the same mechanical movements to work. His secretary, Sarah, interrupted his thoughts with a knock on the door. "Mr. Morris, your mail has arrived," the young woman said as she entered with envelopes in her hand. Sarah had worked with Felix for 3 years. She was the perfect secretary, quiet, efficient, and never interfering with his personal life. Without turning his head, Felix mumbled, "Leave it on the desk." His voice was emotionless, as always, and somewhat condescending. As Sarah placed the envelopes on the desk, the flashy appearance of the top envelope caught her attention. It was made of thick, cream-colored paper with gold-trimmed edges and elegant handwriting. These types of envelopes were usually invitations to important social events. Sarah looked curiously at it but didn't ask anything. Asking questions about Felix's personal life meant losing her job. After Sarah left, Felix began sorting through the envelope. There were bills, business proposals, bank statements, and documents from the law firm. Everything was routine, everything was expected. Then he saw that envelope. The name on the envelope froze him. Scarlett Foster. Not her old surname, but her new one. Her married name. Felix's heart stopped for a moment, then began beating rapidly. With trembling fingers, he opened the envelope. An expensive cardstock invitation decorated with gold trim fell out. The quality of the paper reflected Scarlett's taste. She always wanted the best, most expensive, and most ostentatious things. "You are invited to the wedding ceremony of Scarlett Foster and Jonathan Whitmore." As Felix read the invitation, old memories came alive in his mind. Scarlett Foster. The woman who left him 3 years ago. At that time, Felix wasn't as wealthy as he is today. His company was still growing. Scarlett was impatient. She didn't want to waste time with a man who couldn't keep up with her ambitions. "Your company is growing too slowly, Felix," she said one cold winter evening in his penthouse. "I need a star that rises faster. You're too cautious and calculating. I like men who take risks and are bold." She left and ran into Jonathan Whitmore's arms. Whitmore was the typical heir who had become rich without effort thanks to the billions he had inherited from his father. He was handsome and attractive, but not as smart as Felix. This didn't matter to Scarlett. He could offer her a luxurious life. That was enough. Felix took the invitation in his hand again. The ceremony would take place the following Saturday evening in the grand ballroom of the Plaza Hotel. It would be an event attended by New York's most distinguished families and closely followed by the media. Scarlett always loved such events. The show, the splendor, everyone looking at her, being in the photographer's lenses. This must be a joke, Felix grumbled. There could only be one reason Scarlett invited him. To rub her happiness in his face and show him that she was happy and he was not. Perhaps she wanted to tell her friends, "Look, Felix is still alone. He still hasn't found anyone." A bitter smile appeared on Felix's lip. Scarlett still didn't know him. Felix Morris would never accept defeat. He picked up his phone and called his best friend, Marcus. Marcus was a Harvard classmate and now a successful lawyer. They had both managed to survive the ruthless competition of the business world. They were among the few people who understood each other. "Marcus, are you free Saturday evening?" "Why are you asking?" Marcus asked curiously. Felix rarely made social plans. "Scarlett's wedding is happening. I'm going." There was silence on the other end of the phone. Marcus knew Felix's relationship with Scarlett well. He had seen how hurt Felix was. Then, Marcus's shocked voice came through. "Are you crazy? Why are you torturing yourself? That woman tore you apart, and now she wants to rub her happiness in your face." Felix smiled, but it was cold. "Because I'm not going alone. I'll show Scarlett that there's someone new in my life. Someone much more beautiful and impressive than her." "Who is this new person? I haven't seen you date anyone in recent months. In fact, you haven't been in a serious relationship for the past year." Felix paused. Marcus was right. For the past 6 months, he had focused solely on his work. He wasn't in a serious relationship and wasn't even flirting with anyone. He had spent all his energy on growing his company and making more money. "I'll find someone," he said determinedly. "Felix, this is crazy. You can't just take someone random to the wedding. These people know you. They'll ask questions." "Why can't I?" Felix stood up and began pacing around his office. He always did this when he was nervous. "It's just a one-night deal. In return, I'll pay her well. Everyone will be happy." Marcus sighed. "You really are an unchangeable man. You think you can solve everything with money. How will you find this woman? Are you going to call an escort agency?" Felix approached the window and looked down at the crowded street below. "I don't know, but I'll find someone. There are millions of women in New York. I can convince one of them." After hanging up the phone, Felix sat at his desk and began thinking. What kind of woman should she be? She should be beautiful and elegant, impressive enough to make Scarlett jealous. At the same time, she should be controllable, someone who doesn't ask too many questions and just plays the game. He knew Scarlett's type, blonde, blue-eyed, and model-like. Maybe he should find the complete opposite, a brunette who is mysterious and different. When evening came, Felix left his office. Normally, his driver would take him home, but tonight, he wanted to walk. As he walked through Manhattan, his thoughts were still on Scarlett's invitation. How had she dared to send him such an invitation? It was as if she wanted to humiliate him and see him defeated. But Felix would show her. She would realize she had made the biggest mistake of her life. He stopped in front of a restaurant on Fifth Avenue. It was an expensive Italian restaurant that he frequented. The waiters knew him. They would reserve the best table for him. But tonight, he didn't want to go inside. He was too nervous and tense. He decided to walk a little more. The streets were crowded with people leaving work and going home. As Felix walked among them, he felt alone. Everyone around him had somewhere to go and someone to go home to. Felix only had money. But money couldn't keep him warm at night. That's when he saw her. In the small park next to the restaurant, a woman sat on a bench. Her head was slightly bowed, and her long brown hair hid her face. She wore simple but clean clothes: dark blue jeans, a white blouse, and a thin cardigan. Her shoes were worn but well maintained. She held a small bag and read something. Felix approached curiously. The woman was reading a thick, hardcover book. When he looked at the cover, he was surprised. International Finance and Investment Strategies. It was an academic book that even Felix found difficult. He wondered why a woman sitting on the street would be reading it. When the woman raised her head, Felix held his breath. She was beautiful, but not in an ordinary way. Her green eyes were sharp and intelligent, and her facial features were delicate. But what caught his attention most was the expression in her eyes. They were tired but defiant, defeated but not surrendered. There were stories in her eyes, pain and struggle. "Excuse me," said Felix as he approached the woman. His heart was beating fast, but he tried to keep his voice calm. "I have a proposition for you." The woman raised her head and looked at him. There was no surprise in her eyes, only a cold assessment. She looked Felix up and down, taking note of his expensive suit, Swiss watch, and Italian shoes. "Your proposition?" she said in a low, clear voice. There was an air of education and culture in her accent. Felix put his hands in his pocket. This woman made him uncomfortable, but she also fascinated him. "I'm attending an event Saturday evening. I need an escort." The woman closed her book and turned toward Felix. There was grace in her movement and a natural nobility. "And you chose me. Why?" This question surprised Felix. Most women would have immediately accepted such an offer, especially after learning who he was. But this woman was asking questions and challenging him. "Because you seem suitable," he replied. The woman smiled, but it wasn't warm. There was irony in it, and perhaps bitterness, too. "Suitable? Suitable for what?" "To be your toy." Felix felt uncomfortable. The conversation wasn't going as he had planned. This woman was trying to control him by cornering him with her questions. A social event? An elegant dinner? "You just need to stand by my side and smile." "And in return?" The woman's voice was curious yet suspicious. "I'll pay you well. $5,000 for one night." The woman raised her eyebrows. $5,000? That's a very generous offer. I wonder why you're being so generous. This is too much money for a normal dinner. Felix's patience was beginning to wear thin. This woman was asking too many questions and thinking too much. "Because it's an important night. You don't need to know the details." The woman stood up. She was a bit shorter than Felix, but she stood with confidence. Her shoulders were straight and her head was held high. "I need to know the details," she said firmly. "If I'm going with you somewhere, I want to know where. I'm not stupid." Felix looked at her more closely. This woman was definitely not ordinary. Her way of speaking, her posture, her self-confidence. It was obvious that she was educated and cultured. But then why was she sitting on the street? "A wedding," he finally said. "My ex-fiancée's wedding." Something flashed in the woman's eyes. Understanding? Or amusement? A slight smile appeared on her lips. "Ah," she said slowly. "Now I understand. A revenge plan." "Not revenge," Felix protested. But there was no conviction in his voice. "You just want to show your ex that you're happy," the woman finished his sentence. "And for that, you're hiring a fake girlfriend?" Very classic. Felix's face reddened. This woman had read him too easily. She had immediately figured out his plan. "Are you accepting or not?" The woman studied him for a while. There was calculation and assessment in her eyes. She was trying to understand what kind of man Felix was. Then she put her bag on her shoulder. "Gloria Marshall," she said, extending her hand. Felix shook her hand. The woman's hand was soft, but her grip was strong. "Felix Morris." "Well, Mr. Morris, are you ready to play this game?" "Game." Gloria smiled. This time, her smile was more sincere. "Of course it's a game. You're offering me the role of a fake girlfriend. I'll play it perfectly. But remember, every game has rules." Felix looked at her curiously. This woman surprised him with each word. What kind of rules? First, you'll show me respect. I'm not a commodity, I'm a human being. Second, you won't put me in any dangerous situations. Third, when the night is over, we'll act as if nothing happened between us. Felix nodded. These rules seemed reasonable. Agreed. Then what time should I be ready on Saturday evening? 6 o'clock. I'll arrange a hotel room for you where you can get ready. Everything, including clothes and makeup, will be ready. Gloria nodded. Okay, but there's one more thing. What? What kind of person is this ex-fiancée of yours? Felix's face hardened. Thinking about Scarlett still hurt. Why are you asking? Because I need to know how to act around her. Should I be polite, distant, or… Just be yourself, Felix said. That will be enough. Gloria looked at him for a long time. There was curiosity in her eyes, but also understanding. I hope so, Mr. Morris. I hope so. Felix gave her his business card. I'll contact you Saturday morning. Be ready. Gloria took the card and put it in her pocket. I'll be ready. As Felix was turning to leave, he heard Gloria call out, Mr. Morris? Yes. This night is very important to you, isn't it? Felix paused. This woman knew him well. Yes, it is. Then you won't be disappointed. I promise you. Felix looked at her one last time. There was determination in her eyes, as well as a mysterious sparkle. Whoever this woman was, she wasn't ordinary. Felix felt that Saturday night was going to be very interesting. On his way home, Felix became lost in thought. Gloria Marshall. The name sounded unfamiliar, but the woman's attitude, her way of speaking, and her self-confidence were familiar. She seemed to belong to this world. She seemed to know luxury and splendor. But then, why was she sitting alone in the park? Why had she accepted his offer? These questions confused Felix, but they also excited him. He hadn't met such an intriguing woman in a long time. Scarlett was beautiful but predictable. Gloria, however, Gloria was an enigma. When Felix arrived at his penthouse, he picked up Scarlett's invitation again. This time, he was smiling. On Saturday night, he would show Scarlett that underestimating him was a big mistake. And Gloria Marshall. Gloria would be the perfect piece of this plan. But Felix didn't yet know that Gloria had her own plans. These plans were far more complex than Felix could ever imagine. On Saturday morning, Felix had reserved a suite at the St. Regis, one of Manhattan's most prestigious hotels, just as he had promised Gloria. Early that morning, he went to the hotel to ensure that everything Gloria might need was ready. He had arranged for a professional makeup artist, hairstylist, and personal shopping consultant. Most importantly, 5 dresses selected from New York's most exclusive boutiques were hanging in the suite. As Felix checked every detail, he felt a strange excitement. Usually, he would leave such arrangements to his secretary, Sarah, but this time, he wanted to handle it himself. He was curious about Gloria's reaction. She continued to surprise him, and he liked that. At 11 o'clock, Gloria arrived at the hotel. The receptionist recognized her and directed her immediately to the suite. When she opened the door, she found Felix there. He was standing by the window, looking out at the city. His suit fit him perfectly, and he stood with confidence. "Good morning, Mr. Morris," Gloria said as she entered the room. Her voice was calm, but her eyes scanned the room. Felix turned and looked at her. Gloria looked different today. Her hair was up and she had light makeup on. She was wearing a simple dress but still looked elegant. "Good morning, Gloria. I hope you like everything." Gloria toured the room and examined the hanging dresses and the makeup table. Everything was perfectly organized. "Very impressive," she said. "It's clear that you're accustomed to such organization." "Details matter in business," Felix said. "Tonight is no different." Gloria went to the dresses. Each one was a different style and color. Black, navy blue, burgundy, silver, and gold. They were all made from expensive fabrics and bore the signatures of famous designers. "Which style do you prefer?" she asked. Felix approached. "Your choice. But remember, we need to attract attention tonight." Gloria smiled. "Attract attention? Or make your ex-fiancée jealous?" Felix's face hardened. "Aren't they the same thing?" "No, they're not. Attracting attention means earning respect. Making someone jealous is more personal." Felix looked at her. This woman surprised him with every word. "Well, what do you suggest?" Gloria examined the dresses again. Then she chose the silver one. "This one. It's elegant but not flashy. It attracts attention, but it doesn't look ostentatious." Felix nodded. "Good choice. The makeup artist and stylist will arrive at 1 o'clock. I'll pick you up at 6. Okay, but I have one more question." "Go ahead. Who will be at the wedding? Might I know anyone there?" Felix paused. "People from New York's most distinguished families. Some of my acquaintances from the business world will be there, too." "Why are you asking?" Gloria shrugged. "I just want to be prepared. I don't want to say the wrong thing. Just act like yourself. Besides, we don't need to talk much anyway." Gloria looked at him. "Mr. Morris, if you want tonight to be successful, you should know that you can't just use me as an accessory. People will ask questions. They'll want to talk. I'll have to answer." Felix knew she was right. "Okay, what will you say?" "The truth." "Well, part of the truth. I'll say that we met recently and that we're in a new relationship." "What if questions come up about your past?" Gloria smiled. "Don't worry. I'm experienced in these matters." Felix looked at her curiously. "Experienced? In social environments?" I used to attend these kinds of events frequently." Felix wanted to ask more questions, but Gloria's expression closed her off. Obviously, she didn't want to talk about her past. "Then I'll see you tonight," Felix said. Gloria nodded. "See you tonight." After Felix left the hotel, he went to his office. But he couldn't concentrate. He kept thinking about Gloria. There were many things he didn't know about her. She had said she was experienced in social environments. What did that mean? Was she wealthy before? Or was there another reason? That afternoon, Felix made his own preparations for the wedding. He chose his best suit, watch, and cufflinks. Everything had to be perfect. When Scarlett saw him, she would understand how successful he was. At 5:30, Felix went to the hotel. When he knocked on the suite door, Gloria's voice came from inside saying, "Just a minute." When the door opened, Felix held his breath. The woman standing before him was not the Gloria he had seen that morning. She wore a silver dress that fit her body perfectly. Her hair was gathered in an elegant bun, and her makeup was professional yet natural. But the most striking thing was her posture. It was confident and elegant like a queen's. "How do I look?" Gloria asked, smiling slightly. Felix couldn't speak for a while. "Perfect," he finally said. "Absolutely perfect." Gloria smiled. "Thank you. If you're ready, we can go." As they left the hotel, they noticed people looking at them. Gloria's beauty and elegance always attracted attention, but she didn't care. It was as if she were used to such looks. On the way to the Plaza Hotel in the limousine, Felix gave Gloria final instructions. "Remember, we've been together for a few months. You work at an art gallery." "An art gallery? Why?" "Because it seems cultured. Scarlett is interested in art." Gloria nodded. "Okay, is there anything else?" "When we encounter Scarlett, be distant but polite. Don't act superior to her." "Don't worry. I know how to behave." When they arrived at the Plaza Hotel, they saw that a red carpet had been laid out. Photographers and reporters were covering the event. Felix got out of the limousine and extended his hand to Gloria. She got out with an elegant movement and took his arm. The photographers immediately turned to them. "Mr. Morris! Mr. Morris!" they shouted. "Who is this beautiful lady?" Felix smiled but said nothing. Gloria wasn't embarrassed at all in front of the cameras. She smiled and posed as if she were accustomed to this business. When they entered the hotel, the grand ballroom looked magnificent. There were crystal chandeliers, white flowers, and gold details. Everything was perfect. Guests in elegant outfits chatted while drinking champagne. When Felix and Gloria entered the ballroom, many people looked at them. Those who knew Felix were curious about the beautiful woman beside him. Gloria didn't look tense at all. She walked with her head held high and a smile on her face. "Felix," someone called out. Marcus approached with his wife, Jennifer, beside him. "How are you, buddy?" "I'm fine, Marcus." "Jennifer, how are you?" "Very well, thank you." "And this beautiful lady?" Felix looked at Gloria. "Gloria Marshall." "Gloria, this is Marcus and Jennifer." Gloria extended her hand. "Nice to meet you." Jennifer looked at her curiously. "Have I seen you before? You look familiar." Gloria smiled. "Maybe we met at an art gallery. I work in the art field." "Oh, which one?" "A small one in Soho. We deal with contemporary art." Jennifer nodded. "How interesting. I'm interested in art too." As the conversation continued, Felix noticed how naturally Gloria behaved. She gave comfortable answers to questions and spoke confidently. She seemed like a real art gallery employee. "Felix Morris," another voice called out. This time, it was Robert Steinberg who was approaching. He was a famous investor and one of Felix's business partners. "Robert, how are you?" "Great. And who is this beautiful lady?" "Gloria Marshall." "Gloria, this is Robert Steinberg." Robert kissed Gloria's hand. "Nice to meet you, beautiful lady. I admire Felix's taste." Gloria smiled. "Thank you, Mr. Steinberg. What do you do for work, Gloria?" "I run an art gallery. We deal with contemporary art." Robert's eyes lit up. "What a coincidence. I'm interested in art collecting too. Which artists do you work with?" Felix tensed. This question was very specific. How would Gloria answer? But Gloria didn't sweat at all. "We usually work with young, talented artists. Names that haven't been discovered yet. You know, the future of art lies with them." Robert nodded. "Very true. Finding undiscovered talent is important." As the conversation continued, Felix realized how smart Gloria was. She gave general answers and didn't go into detail. Yet, she was still convincing. Just then, there was movement at the entrance to the hall. Scarlett Foster entered. She wore a magnificent white wedding dress, and her handsome groom, Jonathan Whitmore, stood beside her. When the couple entered the hall, everyone started applauding. Felix's heart raced. Scarlett was still very beautiful. Her blonde hair was perfectly done, and her makeup was flawless. But something else caught Felix's attention. Scarlett's eyes were scanning the room, looking for someone. Then, her eyes found Felix. She paused for a moment, then noticed Gloria standing next to him. The expression on Scarlett's face changed. Surprise, curiosity, and maybe some discomfort, too. "The bride and groom are coming," Gloria said calmly. "Are you ready?" Felix looked at her. There was no tension on Gloria's face. It was as if she had encountered this situation before. Scarlett and Jonathan approached. Scarlett's smile looked forced. "Felix," Scarlett said with fake cheerfulness. "Thank you so much for coming." "Of course I'd come, Scarlett. This is an important day." Scarlett's eyes shifted to Gloria. "And this beautiful lady?" "Gloria Marshall," Felix said. "Gloria, this is Scarlett and Jonathan." Gloria extended her hand. "Nice to meet you. It's been a beautiful wedding." Scarlett shook Gloria's hand, but her eyes examined her. "Thank you. Have I seen you before?" "I don't think so," Gloria replied, smiling. "But New York is a small place. Maybe we've met somewhere." Jonathan intervened. "Felix, how's business going?" "Very well, Jonathan. Congratulations, by the way." "Thank you." "Ms. Gloria, what do you do for work?" "I run an art gallery." Scarlett's eyebrows rose. "Which gallery?" A small one in Soho. We deal with contemporary art. Interesting. I'm interested in art too. What's the gallery's name? Gloria paused for a moment. Felix tensed. Gloria answered in a calm voice, We just opened recently. It's a small place. You probably haven't heard of it. Scarlett nodded, but suspicion lingered in her eyes. Of course. Maybe I'll stop by sometime. I'd be delighted, Gloria replied. As the conversation continued, Felix noticed that Scarlett was constantly examining Gloria. She was looking for something, trying to catch an opening. But Gloria was behaving perfectly. Well, we should talk to the other guests too, said Jonathan. See you later, Felix. After the couple moved away, Felix looked at Gloria. That was perfect, he said. We're just getting started, Gloria replied. The night is long. During dinner, Felix and Gloria sat at one of the head tables. People from New York's wealthiest families sat around them. Conversations revolved around business, money, and politics. Gloria participated in the conversations, making intelligent comments. Felix realized how cultured she was. Art, literature, music. She knew about every subject. Ms. Gloria, said an elderly woman at the table. Where is your family from? Boston, Gloria replied. But I've lived in New York for a long time. Which family in Boston? Gloria smiled. We're not a very well-known family. My father was an academic. The woman nodded. Academic families tend to be very cultured. That's obvious in you, too. Felix admired Gloria. She gave perfect answers to every question. She wasn't sweating or getting flustered. During dinner, Felix noticed that Scarlett was constantly watching them. Sometimes she made eye contact with Gloria, who never looked uncomfortable. After dinner, the dancing began. Felix extended his hand to Gloria. Would you like to dance? Of course. Gloria moved perfectly in Felix's arms on the dance floor. It was as if they had been dancing together for years. You dance very well, Felix said. Thank you. So do you. Where did you learn? Gloria smiled. I used to dance a lot. Felix wanted to ask more questions, but Gloria's expression closed him off. Obviously, she didn't want to talk about her past. While dancing, Felix could smell Gloria's perfume and feel the warmth of her skin. This woman was affecting him, but he didn't know why. Felix, Gloria said slowly, Scarlett is watching us. Without turning his head, Felix replied, I know. Is the plan working? Felix looked into Gloria's eyes. Yes, it's working. But something else was going through Felix's mind. This was no longer just about making Scarlett jealous. He was enjoying being with Gloria. She was enchanting him. After the dance ended, they went to the bar. Felix ordered champagne for Gloria. You're giving a perfect performance tonight, Felix said. Performance? Gloria raised her eyebrows. I'm just being myself. Being yourself? Well, who are you really, Gloria Marshall? Gloria took a sip of her champagne. Do you really want to know the answer to that question, Felix? Felix looked at her. There was deep pain in her eyes, but also strength. Yes, I do. Gloria smiled, but it was a bitter smile. Then you'll need to be patient. This story is long and complicated. Just then, Scarlett came over to them. Felix, Gloria, are you having fun? Very much, Gloria replied. It's been a wonderful wedding. Thank you. Gloria, could I talk to you for a bit? Girl talk. Felix tensed, but Gloria remained calm. Sure. The two women stepped aside. Felix watched them, but she couldn't hear their conversation. Scarlett asked something and Gloria answered. Their faces were both calm, but Felix could feel the tension. A few minutes later, Gloria returned. There was no change on her face. What did you talk about? Felix asked. Girl talk, Gloria said. Nothing important. But Felix noticed that something had changed in her eyes. It was as if she had made a decision. As the night went on, Felix saw how perfect Gloria was. Everyone was impressed by her. Men wanted to talk to her, and women were jealous of her. And Scarlett continued to watch them throughout the night. When the wedding ended, Felix and Gloria returned to the hotel. They sat silently in the limousine. "Tonight was perfect," Felix said. "Thank you." "You're welcome," Gloria replied. "It was part of our agreement." Felix looked at her. Was it just an agreement? Gloria turned her head and looked at him. There was something in her eyes, but he couldn't understand it. "Felix," Gloria said slowly, "I learned a lot tonight. About you, about Scarlett, about this world." "What did you learn?" Gloria smiled. "That some games have no winners, only losers." Felix didn't understand, but he couldn't ask any more questions. They had arrived at the hotel. As Gloria got out of the limousine, she looked at Felix one last time. "Good night, Felix. Tonight was unforgettable." Gloria then entered the hotel, leaving Felix alone in the limousine. On his way home, Felix couldn't stop thinking about Gloria. This woman had enchanted him. But she also worried him. Gloria Marshall had secrets, and Felix wanted to uncover them. It was no longer just about making Scarlett jealous. It was about Gloria. He wanted to know everything about her. On Sunday morning, Felix woke up unable to shake off the events of the night after the wedding. Gloria's last words echoed in his mind. "Some games have no winners, only losers." What did that mean? Why was there such deep pain in Gloria's eyes? As he drank his coffee, he thought again about last night's event. Gloria had given a perfect performance. Everyone was impressed. But most importantly, there was the expression on Scarlett's face. His ex-fiancée had clearly been uncomfortable. The plan had worked, yet Felix didn't feel satisfied. When the phone rang, he heard Marcus's voice. "Felix, you were amazing last night. Gloria is an impressive woman. Where do you know her from?" Felix hesitated. He couldn't tell Marcus the truth. "From business circles. She runs an art gallery. She's very cultured and elegant. Jennifer was impressed by her. By the way, you should have seen Scarlett's face. She was obviously jealous." "Really?" "Of course. She watched you two all night. I think your plan worked, buddy." After Felix hung up, he thought about calling Gloria. But what would he say? Would he thank her? Or ask more questions? Finally, he gave up. He didn't want to interfere with her private life. On Monday morning, when Felix went to his office, his secretary, Sarah, greeted him excitedly. "Mr. Morris, have you seen the newspapers?" Felix frowned. "What newspapers?" Sarah handed him several newspapers. They all had photos of the wedding in their social pages sections. Many of them featured photos of Felix and Gloria. An article titled "Mysterious Beauty" speculated about who Gloria was. Felix looked at the photos. Gloria really looked magnificent. However, he was bothered by the media attention. He didn't think Gloria would like this situation. In the afternoon, an unexpected visitor arrived. Scarlett Foster stood at his office door. His secretary, Sarah, informed him with surprise. "Let her in," he said. He was curious. What did his ex-fiancée want? Instead of wearing last night's wedding dress, Scarlett was wearing a chic business outfit when she entered. However, the expression on her face was tense and determined. "Felix," she said, sitting in the chair across from his desk. "We need to talk." "What is there to talk about, Scarlett?" "The wedding was beautiful. Congratulations." Scarlett smiled, but it was cold. "Thank you. But I want to talk about Gloria Marshall." Felix's heart raced, but he didn't show it on his face. "What about Gloria? Who is that woman, Felix? Does she really run an art gallery? Why are you asking?" Scarlett leaned forward. "Because I researched her. There's no gallery registered under her name in Soho. Actually, there's no one named Gloria Marshall at all." Felix's stomach churned, but he tried to stay calm. "Maybe you're looking in the wrong place." "No, Felix. I researched very carefully. That woman is using a fake identity." Felix stood up. Scarlett, this is ridiculous. Why are you researching Gloria anyway? Scarlett also stood up. Because there's something about that woman. She seems familiar to me. And you won't say where you found her. That's none of your business. Scarlett approached Felix. It is my business, Felix. That woman could be dangerous. You don't know her. You didn't know me either, Felix retorted harshly. But that didn't stop you, did it? Scarlett's face reddened. This is different. How is it different? You left me because I wasn't rich enough. Now you're uncomfortable seeing that I'm happy. This isn't about happiness, Felix. It's about safety. That woman won't reveal her identity. Felix walked toward Scarlett. Listen to me, Scarlett. Don't touch Gloria. Don't do anything about her. Are we clear? Scarlett backed away. There was a dangerous glint in Felix's eyes. Fine, Felix. But be careful. That woman isn't who she seems. After Scarlett left, Felix sat at his desk and took a deep breath. Scarlett was right. Gloria really wasn't revealing who she was. But Felix had thought this wasn't important. Now, he was starting to worry. That evening, he decided to call her. The phone rang, but she didn't answer. When he went to the hotel, the receptionist told him that Gloria had checked out. When? He asked. Early this morning, sir. She didn't leave an address. Felix was surprised. Why had Gloria suddenly left? Where had she gone? The next day, Felix called Private Detective Robert Kane. Kane was one of New York's best investigators. He conducted secret investigations for wealthy clients. Kane, I have a job for you. I want you to investigate a woman named Gloria Marshall. What information do you have? Very little. She's about 30 years old with brown hair and green eyes. She says she runs an art gallery, but that's not true. Do you have a photo? Felix sent the photo from the newspaper. That's all I have. Okay, I need a few days. After hanging up, Felix tried to focus on his work. But he couldn't stop thinking about Gloria. Why was this woman acting so mysteriously? On Wednesday evening, Kane called. Felix, let's meet. I have things to tell you. An hour later, Kane was sitting in Felix's office. He held a thick file in his hand. Gloria Marshall isn't her real name, Kane said. Her real name is Gloria Blackwood. Felix's heart stopped. Blackwood. Yes, Thomas Blackwood's daughter. Felix collapsed into his chair. Thomas Blackwood. He knew this name. There had been a big scandal a few years ago involving him. Blackwood, one of the biggest names in real estate, had been taken to court on fraud charges. Thomas Blackwood went bankrupt, said Kane. His company went under, and his family lost everything. Thomas died of a heart attack in prison. Shortly after, his wife also committed suicide due to depression. What about Gloria? Gloria lost everything. Her house, her money, her social status. She's been missing for the last 3 years. There are no records of her anywhere. Felix put his head in his hands. He now understood Gloria's pain. She had suddenly lost everything after being the daughter of a wealthy family. But that's not the really interesting part, Kane said. Do you know who caused Thomas Blackwood's bankruptcy? Felix raised his head. Who? Harrington Holdings. Scarlett's family's company. Story lovers with golden hearts who have made it to this part, please write "I'm here" in the comments. Also, in our next story, our millionaire friend will make a crazy bet. I'm sure you'll be surprised by what happens. Let's continue from where we left off. Felix froze. What? Kane opened the file. Thomas Blackwood partnered with Harrington Holdings on a major real estate project. But the Harringtons deceived him. Fake documents, fraudulent agreements. Thomas Blackwood fell into a trap. Felix's mind was confused. So Scarlett's family destroyed Gloria's family? Exactly. Guess who directed this operation? Felix's stomach churned. Scarlett. Bingo. She was working at her father's company at the time. She planned the Thomas Blackwood operation. Felix stood up and went to the window. Everything was falling into place. Gloria's behavior at the wedding, her attitude towards Scarlett, the pain in her eyes. Is Gloria seeking revenge? He asked. I don't know. But it's definitely not a coincidence. She found you, Felix, not the other way around. Felix turned around. What do you mean? Kane pulled out another document. Gloria was following you. For several weeks. Her sitting in that park wasn't a coincidence. She knew you would pass by there. Felix was shocked. How did she know? She had learned your routine. Every evening at the same time, you walk the same route. Gloria was waiting for you. Felix sat at his desk. His head was spinning. So she used me. It looks that way. But why? To get to Scarlett? Or does she have another plan? Felix didn't know. One thing was certain, though. Gloria Marshall, or rather, Gloria Blackwood, was a much more complex woman than he had thought. What else did you find out? Felix asked. Gloria is very smart. She's a business graduate from Columbia. She worked at her father's company. She's an expert in finance and real estate. This explained Gloria's behavior at the wedding. It explained why she was so cultured and knowledgeable and so comfortable in social environments. Where is she living now? I don't know. She's been missing for the last 3 years. But I'd bet she's still in New York. Felix thanked Kane and saw him out. Once he was alone, he thought about Gloria. She had used him, but why? Was it to get revenge on Scarlett? Or did she have another purpose? On Thursday morning, Felix decided to find Gloria. But where would he start? According to Kane, Gloria had been missing for 3 years. In the afternoon, he received an unexpected phone call. It was a number he didn't recognize. Felix Morris? Yes, this is Felix. This is Gloria. We need to talk. Felix's heart raced. Gloria, where are you? I've been looking for you. I know. Let's meet up. Meet me at the Bethesda Fountain in Central Park in 1 hour. In 1 hour. Gloria, wait. But the line went dead. An hour later, Felix was waiting by the fountain. There were many people around, runners, walkers, and children. It was a normal day in New York City. Then he saw Gloria. She was walking toward him from a distance. She was dressed simply in jeans, a white t-shirt, and sneakers. But she was still very beautiful. When she came up to him, Felix looked at her. There was fatigue in her eyes, but also determination. Hello, Felix, said Gloria. Hello, Gloria. Or should I say, Gloria Blackwood? Gloria smiled, but it was a bitter smile. So you investigated. Scarlett got suspicious. I got curious too. Gloria sat on a bench. Felix sat next to her. So, what do you know now? Gloria asked. That your father was Thomas Blackwood. Harrington Holdings destroyed him. Scarlett directed this operation. Gloria nodded. What else? You followed me. You weren't in that park by coincidence. Gloria took a deep breath. Yes, I followed you. But only for a few days. Why? Gloria turned to Felix. Because you were Scarlett's ex-boyfriend. And I wanted revenge. Felix felt a pang in his heart. So you used me. At first, yes. But then. Then what? Gloria looked away. Everything changed. Felix moved closer to her. How did it change? You weren't what I thought you'd be. Scarlett had described you as selfish and cold. But you were different. Felix was surprised. Scarlett talked about me? We talked at the wedding. She told me about you. How she left you and why you broke up. What did she say? Gloria hesitated. She said you were selfish. She said that you only thought about money. She said you didn't know love. Felix gave a bitter smile. And you believed that? At first, yes. But I watched you at the wedding. I saw how you treated me. You weren't the man Scarlett described. Felix looked at Gloria. So what do you want now? Gloria stood up. I don't know, Felix. I had a plan, but it doesn't work anymore. What was your plan? Gloria took a deep breath. To destroy Scarlett. To do to her what she did to me. How? Expose Harrington Holdings' dirty business. To show how they deceived my father and destroyed so many families. Felix stood up. Can you do that? Gloria smiled. Of course I can. I've been preparing for 3 years. I have documents and records. I can prove everything Scarlett and her family did. Felix was surprised. Then why don't you do it? Gloria looked at him. Because you got in the way, Felix. And I didn't account for how I'd feel about you. Felix's heart raced. What do you feel? Gloria looked away. That doesn't matter. What matters is that you stay out of this. Why? Because when I destroy Scarlett, you might get hurt too. The media, your business circles. Everything will get messy. Felix took Gloria's hand. Don't think about me. Do what you have to do. Gloria pulled her hand away. No, Felix. You're a good man. I don't want you to get hurt because of my revenge. Gloria, listen to me. Scarlett destroyed you. She destroyed your family. You should get justice. Gloria looked Felix in the eyes. What about you? Do you still love her? Felix hesitated. He had never asked himself this question before. I don't know, he replied honestly. I used to love her. But now everything is different. How is it different? Felix moved closer to Gloria. Because I met you. Gloria backed away. Felix, no. This is wrong. Why is it wrong? Because I used you. There can't be anything real between us. Felix cupped Gloria's face. Who says that? Gloria closed her eyes. I do. Felix leaned in to kiss her, but she pulled back. No, Felix. It can't be like this. She turned and started to walk away. Gloria, wait! Felix shouted. Gloria stopped, but didn't turn around. If you really care about me, Felix, leave me alone. Let this story end here. I can't do that, Felix replied. Gloria turned around. There were tears in her eyes. Then you're going to get hurt. Because I'm going to destroy Scarlett. And you can't stop me. Gloria ran away. Felix wanted to run after her, but he couldn't. Gloria was right. This story was just beginning. Felix was about to learn just how determined Gloria Blackwood was. She wasn't just seeking revenge, she was seeking justice. Felix had gotten caught in the middle of her quest for justice. The next day, Felix sat in his office thinking about Gloria's word. She had been planning her revenge for 3 years. She had prepared to destroy Scarlett. What should Felix do? Should he try to stop her or help her? One thing was certain. Gloria Blackwood's story wasn't over yet. Felix had become one of the most important pieces of her story. Felix spent the rest of that night unable to sleep. Gloria's last words kept spinning in his mind. I'm going to destroy Scarlett. And you can't stop me. What was this woman planning to do? Did Felix really want to stop her? On Friday morning, he went to his office early. His secretary, Sarah, hadn't arrived yet, and the building was quiet. As Felix watched the view of Manhattan awakening from the window, his phone rang. It was a number he didn't recognize. Felix Morris. Mr. Morris, this is Jennifer Walsh from the New York Times. I'd like to interview you. Felix frowned. About what? The mysterious woman who was with you at Saturday night's wedding. Our readers are very curious. Felix's stomach churned. He didn't want any media attention. No comment, he said, hanging up the phone. But the phone rang again. This time it was another journalist, and then another. Felix finally had to turn off his phone. Media interest in Gloria was getting out of control. When Sarah arrived at 9 o'clock, Felix gave her instructions. I won't talk to any journalists. Turn them all down. Of course, sir. By the way, Mr. Harrington wants to see you. Felix froze. Which Harrington? Charles Harrington. Ms. Scarlett's father. Felix's heart raced. Why did Scarlett's father want to see him? When? Now. He's waiting downstairs. Felix took a deep breath. Send him up. A few minutes later, Charles Harrington entered the office. He was a man in his 60s with gray hair and a confident demeanor. He founded Harrington Holdings and created one of New York's most powerful real estate empires. "Felix," said Charles, extending his hand. "We haven't seen each other in a long time." Felix shook his hand. Charles's handshake was strong, and his eyes were sharp and calculating. "Mr. Harrington, how can I help you?" Charles sat in the chair across from the desk. "I want to talk about the woman you met at the wedding." Felix's body language tensed. "About Gloria?" "Yes, Scarlett investigated her. There's no one named Gloria Marshall. She's using a fake identity." Felix tried to stay calm. "Why should this concern me?" Charles leaned forward. "Because that woman could be dangerous. Where do you know her from? What business is it of yours what I do in my private life?" Charles smiled, but it was cold. "Felix, we're old friends. You were engaged to Scarlett. I consider you part of our family. Scarlett left me, remember? Young people make mistakes. But what's important now is finding out who this Gloria is." Felix stood up. "Mr. Harrington, I understand your concerns about Gloria, but this is my private business." Charles stood up too. "Felix, be careful. I have a bad feeling about this woman. If she tries to harm you—" "Are you threatening me?" "No, I'm warning you. As the Harrington family, we protect our friends." After Charles left, Felix sat at his desk and thought. The Harringtons were suspicious of Gloria. This meant that Gloria's plan would work. But it would also be dangerous. At noon, Felix met with Marcus. His old friend was waiting for him, looking curious. "Felix, what's going on?" "The newspapers are writing about Gloria. Charles Harrington is visiting you." Felix told Marcus everything. He told him about Gloria's real identity, her family, and her revenge plan. Marcus listened in amazement. "So this woman used you," Marcus said. "To get to Scarlett." "At first, yes. But then..." "Then what? Did you fall in love with her?" Felix hesitated. "I don't know. Maybe." Marcus shook his head. "Felix, this is dangerous. Gloria is seeking revenge. You could get caught in the middle." "I know. But I can't stop her." "Why do you want to stop her?" "Scarlett left you. Her family destroyed Gloria's family too." Felix looked at Marcus. "Because Gloria could get hurt. The Harrington family is powerful. She can't stand up to them." "What about you? Do you still love Scarlett?" Felix remained silent for a long time. "I used to love her. But now I think about Gloria." Marcus smiled. "Then make your decision, buddy. Either stand by Gloria's side or stay away." On his way home, Felix thought about Marcus's words. He needed to make a decision. But how? He had to find Gloria and talk to her. That evening, Felix tried to call her. Her phone was off. He went to the hotel, but she wasn't there. Where could she be? On Saturday morning, Felix called Kane. "Find Gloria. Find out where she is." "It'll be difficult. The woman is hiding like a pro." "Try anyway." In the afternoon, Kane called. "Felix, I found Gloria. You'll be surprised." "Where?" "At the cafe across from Harrington Holdings. She's watching the building." Felix's heart raced. Gloria had started implementing her plan. "I'm coming right away." When Felix arrived at the cafe, Gloria was sitting by the window, watching the building across the street. Her laptop was open and she was writing something. "Gloria," Felix said, sitting next to her. Gloria raised her head. She didn't look surprised. "I knew you'd find me. What are you doing?" Gloria showed Felix her laptop screen. On it was a detailed report about Harrington Holdings. It detailed the company's illegal transactions, fake documents, and defrauded families. "Evidence I've been collecting for 3 years," Gloria said. "This report will be in all the newspapers tomorrow morning." Felix was surprised. "How?" "I contacted journalists. I gave them the evidence. The Harrington family will be destroyed." Felix took Gloria's hand. "Don't do this." "Why?" "Because it's dangerous. The Harringtons will find you. You could get hurt. Gloria pulled her hand away. I don't care. I'll get my father's revenge. Gloria, listen to me. This revenge won't make you happy. You'll just suffer more. Gloria looked Felix in the eyes. What do you know about suffering? You've never lost anything. Felix was hurt. I lost you. Gloria paused. You never had me. I want to have you. Gloria shook her head. It's too late, Felix. Everything will be over tomorrow morning. Felix stood up. Then I'll be with you too. What? If you're going to fight the Harrington family, you won't be alone. Gloria was surprised. Felix, no. This isn't your fight. It is now. Because I love you. Gloria's eyes filled with tears. Felix. No, listen to me. I love you, Gloria. The kiss was long and passionate. Of course there can be, Felix said. I love you, Gloria. I love you too, Gloria replied. But I'm scared. Why? Because I'm not used to being happy. I lost everything. I'm afraid of losing you too. Felix hugged Gloria tightly. You won't lose me. I promise. On Sunday morning, Felix woke up early. Gloria was making coffee in the kitchen. The TV was on and the news had started. It started, Gloria said. The TV news anchor was speaking. There are serious allegations against Harrington Holdings, one of New York's largest real estate companies. The company is accused of conducting illegal transactions and defrauding many families. Felix and Gloria watched the news. Harrington Holdings stocks had crashed. Charles Harrington had called an emergency press conference. It worked, Gloria said. My plan worked. But Felix was worried. What happens now? As if to answer his question, the phone rang. It was Felix's phone. It was Scarlett calling. Felix, what have you done? Hello, Scarlett. Who is this woman called Gloria? Why is she attacking my father's company? Felix looked at Gloria. Gloria nodded. Scarlett, this is Gloria Blackwood. Thomas Blackwood's daughter. There was silence on the other end of the phone. Then, Scarlett's shocked voice came through. Thomas Blackwood? But he. Yes, the man you destroyed. Gloria is his daughter. Felix, this is crazy. That woman is using you. No, Scarlett. You used me. Gloria loves me. Felix, please. This woman is dangerous. My father will find her. Let him find her. We're ready. Felix hung up the phone. Gloria smiled at him. Are you ready? She asked. I'm ready, Felix replied. But neither of them knew that the Harrington family had already found them. Charles Harrington was ready to do anything to get revenge for his daughter. That afternoon, there was a knock on Felix's penthouse door. When he opened it, 3 men were standing there. They were men in suits who looked serious. Mr. Morris, said the man in the middle. Mr. Harrington wants to see you. Felix's heart raced. Now. Yes, now. Felix looked at Gloria. She had stood up, looking tense. Okay, Felix said. We're going. Just you and Mr. Morris. Ms. Blackwood will stay here. Gloria stepped forward. No, we're going together. One of the men smiled. This isn't a request, ma'am. This is an order. Felix and Gloria's game had begun. But now, the Harrington family was setting the rules. They were sitting in the conference room on the top floor of Harrington Holdings' main building. The magnificent view of Manhattan could be seen through the glass walls, but their minds were elsewhere. Charles Harrington sat across from them, looking at them with cold eyes. Scarlett and the company's lawyers sat beside him. Gloria Blackwood, Charles said slowly. Thomas Blackwood's daughter. We've been looking for you for 3 years. Gloria held her head high. You found me. What do you want? Charles smiled, but it was threatening. First, I want to apologize. I'm sorry about what happened to your father. Apologize. Gloria's voice hardened. You destroyed my father. You trapped him. The business world is ruthless, Gloria. Your father made mistakes. Mistakes. Gloria jumped up. You showed him fake documents. You made him invest in a non-existent project. Charles remained calm. Can you prove it? Gloria pulled a file out of her bag. Of course I can prove it. This file has everything. Fake documents, fraudulent agreements, bribery records. Scarlett leaned forward. But these documents could be fake. Fake. Gloria gave a bitter smile. Then why did your stocks crash? Why is the media so interested? Charles stood up and went to the window. So, what do you want, Gloria? Money. Money. Gloria's voice trembled with anger. My father died in prison. My mother committed suicide because she was depressed. Will money bring them back? Felix took Gloria's hand. The woman was trembling, but she was still determined. Then what do you want? Charles repeated. I want justice. I want you to be held accountable for what you did. Charles turned and looked at Gloria. Justice? Well, let me make you an offer. Gloria looked at him suspiciously. What offer? Give these documents back. Deny the statements you made to the media. In return, I'll give you $5 million. Gloria was surprised. $5 million. Yes, you can build a new life. In another city, in another country. No, Gloria said determinedly. I don't want the money. Charles's face hardened. Then 10 million. No. 20 million. Gloria stood up. Even if you offered 100 million, I'd still say no. This isn't about money. Charles sat at his desk. Well, Gloria, then you're choosing the hard way. Felix tensed. What do you mean? Charles looked at Felix. Where do you stand in all this, Felix? This woman used you. She used you as a tool to get to Scarlett. Felix looked at Gloria. I know. But I don't care anymore. Really? Have you thought about what will happen to your company? Felix's heart stopped. What do you mean? Charles smiled. We're one of Morris Investments' biggest clients. If Gloria continues these attacks, we'll cancel all our agreements with you. Felix was surprised. Harrington Holdings was indeed one of his biggest clients. Losing these agreements could seriously damage his company. That's not all, Charles continued. We'll also tell your other clients that you're unreliable. You won't be able to do business in New York. Felix stood up. Are you threatening me? No, I'm telling you the facts. If you support Gloria, you'll lose everything. Gloria grabbed Felix's arm. Felix, listen to me. These men are dangerous. Stay out of this. Felix turned to Gloria. No, I'll be with you. Charles shook his head. Too bad, Felix. You had a bright future. Just then, the conference room door opened. Marcus entered with several men beside him. Felix, Marcus said. We made it in time. Charles was surprised. Who are you? Marcus smiled. I'm Marcus Thompson, Felix's lawyer. These gentlemen are FBI agents. One of the agents stepped forward. My name is Charles Harrington. I'm here to arrest you on charges of fraud, bribery, and tax evasion. Charles's face turned white. This is impossible. The agent turned to Gloria. Ms. Blackwood, the documents you provided were very helpful to us. We've been tracking Harrington Holdings for years. Gloria was surprised. The FBI? Yes, your father's case caught our attention. But we didn't have enough evidence. You gave us the missing pieces. Felix asked curiously. Marcus, how did you know? Marcus smiled. Gloria contacted me. She called last night and told me everything. She asked me to contact the FBI. Gloria looked at Felix. I wanted to protect you. If the FBI gets involved, you won't get hurt. Felix hugged Gloria tightly. You're amazing. As Charles was handcuffed, Scarlett ran to her father. Dad, this can't be happening. The FBI agent turned to Scarlett. You'll also be called in for questioning, Miss Foster. You were involved in these operations. Scarlett looked at Gloria. Hatred filled her eyes. You destroyed all of us. Gloria answered calmly, No, Scarlett. You destroyed yourselves. I just revealed the truth. As Charles was being taken away, He looked at Felix one last time. This isn't over, Felix. I'll destroy you. Felix smiled. Try it. After the FBI agents took the Harringtons away, only Felix, Gloria, and Marcus remained in the conference room. Marcus turned to Gloria. Excellent work. The FBI is very pleased. Gloria looked tired. Thank you. But this is just the beginning. The court process will be long. Felix took Gloria's hand. You won't be alone. I'm with you. Gloria smiled. Really? You could lose everything. Felix shrugged. True, I lost Harrington Holdings. But I have other clients. Most importantly, though, I found you. Marcus smiled. Ah, love. Very romantic. Gloria blushed. Marcus, please. Felix stood up. Let's get out of here. I don't want to stay in this building any longer. When they went outside, the media were waiting for them. Journalists bombarded them with questions. Ms. Blackwood, what else do you know about the Harrington family? Mr. Morris, do you regret supporting your fiancée? Is this a revenge story? Gloria approached the microphone. Yes, I'll answer your questions. Felix looked at her worriedly. Gloria, are you sure? Gloria nodded. Yes, people should know the truth. She turned to the journalist. I'm Gloria Blackwood, Thomas Blackwood's daughter. 3 years ago, Harrington Holdings trapped my father. They deceived him with fake documents and made him go bankrupt. My father died in prison and my mother committed suicide. The journalists listened carefully. For 3 years, I collected evidence. I learned how many families Harrington Holdings has destroyed. Today, justice was served. A journalist asked, So, how did your relationship with Mr. Morris begin? Gloria looked at Felix. At first, I used him. I used him to get to Scarlett Foster. But then I fell in love with him. Felix approached Gloria. I fell in love with her too. I want to marry her. Gloria was surprised. Felix got down on one knee. He pulled a ring out of his pocket. Gloria Blackwood, will you marry me? Everyone around them was surprised. Journalists started taking photos. Gloria looked at Felix with tears in her eyes. Felix, this is crazy. Crazy love is the most beautiful kind. What do you say? Gloria smiled. Yes. Of course, yes. Felix stood up and kissed her. Those around them applauded. Marcus came up to them. Congratulations. But we should leave now. The 3 friends left. While driving in Felix's car, Gloria held Felix's hand. Do you really want to get married? She asked. Felix smiled. Of course. I love you, Gloria. I love you too. But it won't be easy. The Harrington family will try to get revenge. Felix shrugged. We'll overcome it together. Marcus chimed in from the back. By the way, don't worry about Felix's company. Once Harrington Holdings is gone, many new clients will come. Honest businessmen want to get rid of the Harringtons. Felix was surprised. Really? Yes, actually, 3 new clients called this morning. They want to work with you. Gloria smiled. See? Doing the right thing is always rewarded. That evening, the 3 of them had dinner together at Felix's penthouse. Marcus told stories while Felix and Gloria laughed. By the way, Marcus said, when's the wedding? Felix looked at Gloria. What do you think? Gloria thought. 6 months from now. Let the court process finish. Let our lives return to normal. Felix nodded. Perfect. Marcus smiled. Then I'll start preparing to be the best man at your wedding. That night, after Marcus left, Felix and Gloria sat on the balcony and watched the city. Are you happy? Felix asked. Gloria rested her head on Felix's shoulder. Very happy. But I still can't believe it. For 3 years, I only thought about revenge. Now I'm thinking about the future. A future with you. Felix stroked Gloria's hair. What kind of future do you want? Gloria smiled. A simple future. Loving you, being loved. Maybe we'll have children. Felix was surprised. Children? Why, don't you want them? Felix smiled. Of course I do. I want beautiful, smart children like you. Gloria kissed Felix. I love you, Felix Morris. I love you too, Gloria Blackwood. Soon you'll be Gloria Morris. 2 months later, the Harrington Holdings case began. Why was there such deep pain in Gloria's eyes? As he drank his coffee, he thought again about last night's event. Gloria had given a perfect performance. Everyone was impressed. But most importantly, there was the expression on Scarlett's face. His ex-fiancée had clearly been uncomfortable. The plan had worked, yet Felix didn't feel satisfied. When the phone rang, he heard Marcus's voice. Felix, you were amazing last night. Gloria is an impressive woman. Where do you know her from? Felix hesitated. He couldn't tell Marcus the truth. From business circles. She runs an art gallery. She's very cultured and elegant. Jennifer was impressed by her. By the way, you should have seen Scarlett's face. She was obviously jealous. Really? Of course. She watched you two all night. I think your plan worked, buddy. After Felix hung up, he thought about calling Gloria. But what would he say? Would he thank her? Or ask more questions? Finally, he gave up. He didn't want to interfere with her private life. On Monday morning, when Felix went to his office, his secretary, Sarah, greeted him excitedly. Mr. Morris, have you seen the newspapers? Felix frowned. What newspapers? Sarah handed him several newspapers. They all had photos of the wedding in their social pages sections. Many of them featured photos of Felix and Gloria. An article titled Mysterious Beauty speculated about who Gloria was. Felix looked at the photos. Gloria really looked magnificent. However, he was bothered by the media attention. He didn't think Gloria would like this situation. In the afternoon, an unexpected visitor arrived. Scarlett Foster stood at his office door. His secretary, Sarah, informed him with surprise. Let her in, he said. He was curious. What did his ex-fiancée want? Instead of wearing last night's wedding dress, Scarlett was wearing a chic business outfit when she entered. 3 years ago, I lost everything. My family, my money, my future. But Felix gave me a new life. He gave me a new family. Thank you, Felix. Everyone applauded. Felix and Gloria kissed. For their honeymoon, they went to Tuscany. They stayed at a small hotel in a beautiful village. They spent their days hiking, drinking wine, and getting to know each other. One evening, while walking in the vineyards, Gloria turned to Felix. Felix, I want to tell you something. Felix looked at her curiously. What is it? Gloria smiled. I'm pregnant. Felix froze. Really? Yes, 2 months along. Felix lifted Gloria up and spun her around. This is wonderful. I'm so happy. Gloria laughed. I'm happy too. Felix put her down and caressed her belly. Hello, little baby. I'm your daddy, Felix. Gloria smiled. What kind of father will you be? Felix thought. A loving and protective one who gives freedom. What kind of mother will you be? A strong, supportive mother who is also compassionate. Felix kissed Gloria. We'll be a perfect family. 9 months later, little Thomas Felix Morris was born. They named him after Gloria's father, Thomas Blackwood. When Felix held the baby at the hospital, his eyes filled with tears. Hello, Thomas. I'm your daddy. I love you so much, he said. Gloria was tired but happy. What are you thinking when you look at him? Felix smiled. I'm thinking about the future. His future. Our future. What kind of future? Felix handed the baby to Gloria. A future full of love. A happy future. A future full of justice. Gloria kissed her baby. Yes, and most importantly, a future together. As Felix watched his wife and son, he reflected on how much his life had changed. A year ago, he was a lonely, cold man. Now, he was a loving husband and father. Gloria was thinking similar thoughts. A year ago, she was a woman seeking revenge and suffering. Now, she was a happy wife and mother. They both knew life had given them a second chance.